Hi guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to another Retro RPG. And at the end of another week, and the end of another poll, we've got a clear winner. And it was a surprising one for me. For its first week, the High Action Roleplay game won. I keep wanting to call it High Action Roleplay System, which would be HARPs, but it's just HARP, High Action Roleplay. And we'll deal with that on the desktop in a second. But I'll be back at the end of the video with some channel related stuff and news on the poll. So I hope to see you there. So, this is HARP, High Adventure Role-Playing, from ICE, Iron Crown Enterprises. Now, it came out in December of 2003, and was, from what I read, somewhat a reaction to 3rd edition Dungeons & Dragons. ICE already had their fantasy system, Rolemaster, which we've covered before, and Rolemaster is quite a complicated and very, very detailed system. Absolutely adored by those who play it, but it can be a little inaccessible. So HARP was a reaction to that, to try and make their own system, which was accessible as 3rd edition Dungeons & Dragons, and take along some of the ideas from 3rd edition, which were more modern. Now, a lot of this game is character creation. It's very much about creating the perfect character for yourself. But let's have a look at the back cover first. HARP, The Road to High Adventure. Dragon Slayers wanted, no previous experience required. On-the-job training provided, flexible hours, travel opportunities, profit sharing, health plan. You kill it, you loot it. HARP is the cure for the role-playing blast. Are you ready for action, excitement, and adventure? Then you're ready for High Adventure Role-Playing, ICE's newest fantasy role-playing system. HARP brings you the flexibility, simplicity, and drama you crave in a quick and easy 160 pages. HARP has everything you love about fantasy role-playing: flexible character creation, exciting combat, critical hits, and magic. Fast and fun, HARP will have your friends up and running with new characters and everything they need to play in about an hour. Features: fast and exciting character creation, free downloadable HARP character generation software, combat that leaves you breathless, truly flexible and dynamic spell system, everything you need to play in one book. Web support, free and easy to use HARP character creation software by Trinrose Software. Create, update, and print your characters without a fuss. Free character archive. Post your HARP character or download someone else's character. Free Rogues Gallery. Need a good villain or NPC? Then go to Rogues Gallery and check out other GM's favorite NPCs. Visit our HARP Vault, a treasure trove of free HARP downloads, professions, spells, monsters, adventures, and more. Visit the HARP Forum. Find other HARP players, get answers to rules questions, or just share your HARP thoughts. Find these and more at harphq.com. Well, I'm afraid harphq.com's gone. It now redirects to, I think, a Chinese reseller. So somebody's bought up the domain name at some point. But the website itself is gone. But I really admire that this was an early effort to get online. It's something which 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons has been struggling with, and obviously all of us have been struggling with during the pandemic. But this was a very early move to provide a core resource where your players can create characters, share them with each other, and where you can get NPCs, adventures, just resources for your game. Make everything simple for a games master, make the game more playable. Really big thumbs up for that. Very forward-looking. 3rd edition had tried it somewhat with the character creation disc they gave away, but we've been through that before. Anyway, inside the book, we've got some nice artwork, very detailed stuff, a credits page and table of contents. Now, what is noticeable is how much of the book is character creation, because we've got professions, character statistics, races and cultures, skills, talents and other options, and equipment. So 8 out of the 15 chapters is basically character creation. We've got adventuring, which is the standard rules, combat, detailing out combat, magic and spells, herbs and poisons, encounters and monsters, treasure, and games mastering guidelines. But so much is on character creation, which is kind of right. Going into the introduction, what is role-playing, what is character, quick character creation, shortcuts, what is a games master, going over the character sheet and how it's laid out. And I find it very different to other role-playing games because we are starting off with choosing a profession. So we flip over to the profession section. We've got clerics, fighters, harpers, mages. monks, rangers, rogues, thieves, warrior mages, and you can do multiple professions. And I find that slightly odd that you're not being an elf who becomes a ranger, for example. You're being a ranger and then choosing to be an elf afterwards. Just a slight shake-up, but kind of different to how many other games handle it. We've got the character statistics, so 8 stats. We've got different versions of them, but option 1, option 2, increasing stats. I haven't really gone through them. So we have strength, constitution, agility, quickness, self-discipline, reasoning, insight, and presence. Then we're on to the races and cultures. So fairly standard fantasy races. We've got dwarves, we've got elves, we've got gnomes, we've got Gricks, who are sort of savage creatures. We'll come on to that. We've got halflings, and we've got humans. Now, something I also really like about HARP is the racial hybrids. So for some of your character creation points, you can choose to be a hybrid. So if you want to be a half-elf, you choose to be a human, and then you choose elven blood, either lesser or greater. But you can choose to be a dwarf with elven blood if you want. You can be a half-dwarf, you can be a half-gnome, half-Grix. You can choose all these combinations to create your character. And if you're spending your starting points, you can choose to be a human who has an elf grandfather and a dwarf grandmother on different sides of the family, to put all those blood combinations in and create a truly unique character with a truly unique background. Really great stuff. And human blood, if you want to go from the other way of being an elf with human blood in them. Additional character information. The cultures, so whether you come from deep warrens, shallow warrens, sylvan background, underhill, nomadic, rural or urban cultures, different backgrounds there. We've got loads of skills. Now, skills are an intriguing system. Perhaps I should cover them more detailed when we come on to the rules system. But essentially, you are adding a lot of things together. Yeah, I'll leave that to later. We've got all the skills here. Standard ones: brawling, chi focus, dancing, contortions. Lots of skills. We've seen them all before. Martial arts, sweeps, pickpockets, play instruments, singing, signaling, trading, trickery. We've got talents and other options, so much like the feats of 3rd edition Dungeons & Dragons, where you can get dark vision, or you can get dense musculature, eloquence, a familiar. Just different things to make your character slightly different. Gigantism. Speak with normal animals. We've got fate points, which allow you to alter rolls from time to time to improve your chances or lower the chances of a critical hit hurting you. We've got training packages, so you can become part of a group, and it urges the players and the game master to create up their own. So bounty hunter training packages, which will increase the skills as you become a bounty hunter. We've got the equipment and money section, very, very similar to most. Buy yourself a backpack, buy yourself a mirror, all the standard fantasy things you can pick up, different types of weapons. And then we've got the rules. So HARP works on a percentile system. Now you're adding lots of bonuses from different things. So can I find an example? So somebody trying to pick a lock gets him a bonus of plus 30 to his skill check, with his stat bonus of plus 6 from his insight stat, plus 9 from his agility stat, along with a set of high-quality plus 10 non-magical lockpicks. He receives a total bonus of 55, 30 plus 9 plus 6 plus 10, to opening that door before he perishes in the watery tomb. The example being given that he's trying to pick a lock to escape from watery tomb. And you roll your d100, you add that bonus, and then you're trying to get over 100 to succeed. Or a different target number. The games master can set up the target number. But the more you succeed, the better you do. The lower you roll, the less well you succeed. Right down to complete failures. Now, you get bonuses and penalties depending on the situation. If it's a mundane roll, no roll required. If it's routine, there's a +6. If it's very hard, a -40 to your skill roll. Extremely hard, a -60. If it's absurdly difficult, a -100. So you're trying to roll those dice and get a positive number. But you're adding all these bonuses from different places. It's still not as simple a system as 3rd edition Dungeons & Dragons, but it does let you pick up and become very versatile as you're getting little bonuses to lots of different things for having skills and attributes. It's an interesting system. I don't think I'm quite getting across what I'm liking about it here, but it adds a lot of flexibility to characters. We've got fumble rules, the standard combat rules, different types of traps, picking them, different types of damage, and then we're on to the full combat section. Defensive bonuses, combat actions, life points, types of criticals, so with crushing weapons, with slashing weapons, with puncturing weapons, martial arts, grapple, large criticals, huge criticals, heat criticals, cold criticals, lots of critical hit tables, really keeping on from Rollmaster here, but a lot more simplified. Then we're on to the magic section. So we end up with lots of lists of spells from universal, so different types of magic users get access to these. Clerical sphere. Mage sphere. Ranger sphere. Warrior mage sphere. And then the herbs and poison section. So if you get access to universal spells, you'll get those. If you're a warrior mage, you get access to these. The magic system's very condensed and a lot simpler, I would say, than Dungeons & Dragons, although has a lot of flexibility in there. And that's a lot what's got to be said for HARP. It really does give you flexibility in what you do. Different types of poisons, encounters and monsters with different sample types of creatures. Some very condensed stats there. Descriptions of all the different types of monsters here. We've got treasure sections, so different types of magic items. Just lots and lots of different ones. Then we're on to mundane treasure. And then we've got a few pages of Games Master guidelines. So some tips for the Games Masters. You know, be flexible, have fun, don't change the rules in the middle of a session. Customizing your setting, aspects of a deity, customizing the cleric. The lore table, awarding experience points. Just a very condensed games mastering section to give you some ideas. And then we've got the character sheet at the back here. So that was high action roleplay, HARP. And I'm not sure whether I got it across in the recording I was doing on the desktop, but I really love the flexibility of this system. The character creation is fantastic. You've got lots of options you can add. I really like the way they can handle half-breeds, allowing you to create a lot of variety from having very distant blood, you know, elven blood, or even human blood if you're playing an elf who's just got that hint of human blood in their past. Really allows you to create a lot of flexibility into your character background, and especially with the different advantages you can get. You can buy in those abilities and create something really unique. There's a lot of variability in the play as well. I'm always a fan of critical hits, so I like seeing those, and the flexibility and success levels you can get, where things really don't go your way, or up to massive successes where you're rolling 3 or 4 times. Really a lot of flexibility in play. An excellent idea, even if I'm not a massive fan of the way they implemented it. There's some really solid ideas in there. Now, that won the poll with some 36% of the vote, coming from behind because the Warhammer Companion, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, as somebody commented, coming second in the poll again with 31%, but coming second the week before that, and for several weeks, just never getting enough votes to win. So this week, with HARP out, I've put in Step Lords of Mars for Space 1889, because Space 1889 things are spectacularly not popular in the polls. It's a forgotten system, people really aren't that interested in it. So we're going to see if you're just messing with me with voting for stuff that I don't expect you to. And hopefully this week the Warhammer Companion will get through and we can talk about that next week. But we shall see how things go. And other channel related things, we're coming up to the final episode of The Path to a New Edition, where I detail what the news I've seen about 6th edition is. We go through that. I'll be going back to some rules breakdowns, and then we'll be coming up to a new series. Now, I'll talk about that more in coming up episodes, because I really want some feedback from you about where we should take the channel next. Anyway, as always, thank you very, very much for watching. But most of all, you look after yourselves. And I'll catch you later. Bye now.